Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Peter Vekselman here. Welcome. It's Partner Driven Live. That means it must be Tuesday night. This is what we've been doing for, forever and ever. We've been on these Tuesday night calls because we found over a period of time these are kind of the gateways of how people find out about us, how people stay motivated with us, what people do in terms of working with us. So I'm excited to be here. We'll be getting started in just a little bit. Actually just getting in, like literally getting in about 10 minutes ago. Talk about that here in just a minute. But hey, let me know where you're calling in from or dialing in from or zooming in from. I'd love to know. I think by now it is without a doubt, I know we've hit every single state along the way. So wherever you're calling in from, zooming in from, listening from, let me know. It's always makes it more exciting from this side. What's up, Brad? Brad, we need to give you the most loyal follower individual award. Not only are you always here, you're like the first one to be here. So glad to see you, Brad, from Marietta, just right up the road from here. Hi, Pam. So let me know where you're calling in from. Hope wherever it is, it's sunny because it's like in Atlanta right now. And I just literally cranked my AC on to like 68. It is like summertime here in Atlanta, literally summertime. It's like in the 80s today. So we have Maryland in the house. We have Texas in the house. What's up? Oh, Atlanta. Somebody else from Atlanta. Vitalia, how are you? Good to see you guys. So yeah, hopefully wherever you are, and I think by now probably most of the states should be warm. So hopefully you're experiencing good warm weather wherever that is. All right, we're going to be getting started here in just a minute or two. Again, my name is Peter Vekselman. We're going to be talking about some big picture stuff tonight. Tonight is somewhat teaching, but it's teaching at a high level. It's teaching not. I'm not going to just talk about techniques or strategies tonight. I'm going to teach at a very high level. Something that even for some reason you're not in real estate. You may have some other businesses going. You may be involved in some other ventures, or if you're just looking to excel at whatever it is you're involved in, that's the kind of level we're going to be talking at tonight. So glad you're here. Starting here in just a minute or two. Let people dial in, zoom in, sit in. Again, let me know where Pennsylvania in the house, Alabama, Massachusetts. What's up, Karen and Carl? Very, very loyal partners. Amazing. Juanita from Paris, Texas. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of Paris, Texas. It must be some kind of a smaller city. What's up, Bill? How are you, my friend? St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Wow. Hey, Doug. I can't remember if we've ever had someone else from St. Croix and U.S. Virgin Islands. So super cool that you're here. What's up, Jamari? Jamari must be in the house too. All right, guys, settle in. I have some good stuff for you tonight. Really high level strategies, really high level things that no matter what walk of life you're coming from, no matter what's your path to success. I mean, obviously here in real, it's the one thing we all have in common. It's very, very real estate driven. But no matter what your pathway is, this is some really, really, really amazing stuff and really needed stuff that I'm going to talk to you guys about at a very, very high level. What's up, Glenn? What's up, Michael? Dallas. All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get rolling. Again, for those of you that may not know me, my name is Peter Vekselman with Partner Driven. I am a real estate investor. People ask me, who are you and what do you do? The name is Peter Vekselman. What I do is I invest in real estate. Have been doing it for well over 2 decades. Did it very successfully at times. Did it very unsuccessfully at other times. I'm not one of those kid wonders that just has from zero to hero and I never look back. Very differently. Even when I did get to some very, very high stages in real estate, I found my way back to very, very low stages in real estate. So I've literally ridden the markets, I've ridden the ups, I've ridden the downs, but along the way, done thousands of real estate deals. But really, what I did is I gained a lot of experience along the way. Okay, I've gained a tremendous amount of experience. I've started really zeroing in the things that do work in real estate and zeroed in on things that do not work in real estate. And as those trials and tribulations, what came and went, I really started understanding how to really do it at a very high level, to the level where, you hear people talk about it. Well, in real estate, it's all about, how many opportunities do you get? How many opportunities you get? And that is very true. How many motivated seller transactions are you doing or connecting with? And those are all very important mile markers. And got my real estate investment business to the point where there were days, I'm not exaggerating here at all, there were days where we're taking almost 1,000 inbound seller calls a day. Okay, so you can imagine. And so we're really rocking and rolling, but just like, when I share this story, I always tell them, I kind of pivot at this point, because I always tell people, to someone brand new or someone just getting started, 1,000 seller calls sometimes seems like, oh my gosh, that's like, if I ever get there, I mean, that's it. I'll be tapped out. I'll be so happy. I'll be inspired. But I'm telling you, that's not how success works. Success works that when you hit the one level, you always look at the next level. And it's like, you always, the way I like to say it is like, you think you're a player till you meet a player, right? And so even in those days when we were taking all the overabundance of motivated seller calls, I even back then was trying to figure out, how do I get to even the next level? And there comes a time, even in real estate, it's hard to believe for a lot of people, but it does come a time where you start tapping things out. Like you tap out, let's say you could tap out your financial resources. We all know that. You could tap out your mental, like you only know certainly, you tap out those. But the one thing I was really beginning to tap out in those levels is the quantity of deals that we could do. So we were tapping out our locations, the geography in which we were doing this business in. We had like, I hate to say the word saturated. You can't saturate anything, but to really get to the that next level, not 1,000, but 2,000, we had to get beyond our own internal borders. And so this is where a number of years ago, this idea came along of why not start partnering? Why not start partnering with everyday people across the United States and literally enabling them to close real estate deals? And in return for us helping them close the deals, we would take a profit split, literally a 50-50 profit split. And if you think about it, and I think about this, if you know anything about real estate, like, would you just like meet a guy somewhere across the country, no matter how much money you have, and just go ahead and give him that money to do a deal with? The answer is like, no. That is like one of the things you do not do in real estate. You don't just like throw money against the wall and figure it out. But I'll be honest with you, that's exactly what we did in the beginning. And in the beginning, the partner-driven model was not by any means anywhere the success it is today. We made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. I personally lost a lot of money as we kind of pivoted towards the partner-driven model. And the biggest reason for that was really, you would want to, I would kind of want to say, well, it was the local partner, but that's not a right way to interpret what happened in the beginning in our partner model. It was really on us. Yes, it was the local partner a lot of times making the mistake, but it was us not really providing the right infrastructure, the right resources, the right support, the right coaching, the right lead gen. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, we almost did none of that. We just kind of assumed that, heck, there's got to be some sharp people out there, and we'll kind of let them make a lot of decisions. And again, I don't necessarily talk about this all the time, but I do want to share that tonight, that in the beginning, the partner model was not this incredibly successful model that it is today. Matter of fact, the first year we ran it, I lost money in the whole deal. None of my partners did, because that's part of being a partner, is that even if things go bad, you don't have to, I absorb all the losses. So that's really how it happened and what happened. But over a period of time, here's one thing that also happened. We knew the partner-driven model worked. We just realized we weren't working it the right way. And by the way, that's a problem that almost all newbies get in the real estate, right? It's, real estate works. Nobody can ever get in real estate and say it doesn't work. That argument's like long gone, right? That's been covered years and years and decades ago. So nobody can make an argument that real estate doesn't work. The only argument anybody can really make is, how do I make it work for me? And so when I found myself, a number of years ago with the initial inception of partner-driven model, I did what I did decades ago when I was a newbie and I got in the business and did a disastrous launch. I never blamed real estate, right? I just said, well, I got to figure this thing out, and it's worthy of figuring out. And so is the partner-driven model. And we did figure it out. We figured it out that now if I bring all that whole partner-driven model to where we are today is a perfect text that literally I got here 5 minutes ago. And this is where the partner-driven model is today. I get a text from Laura, and Laura handles a lot of our back office. She takes the lead there for support for our local partners across the nation. And Laura literally just texted me. I don't know if you guys can see this, but she said, Mike Jones just sent in his first signed deal. Fantastic for Mike. That's our partner with his first deal. But here's the second sentence, is the rocking one. The second sentence says, that's 4 deals today. And that's where the partner-driven model is today. From where it was in its initial inception of not really doing too well to where we are now, years down the road, we're absolutely knocking it out of the ballpark. Just absolutely killing it, and excited to do this. I mean, I could tell you, I was always excited about real estate, but this is a totally different dimension of real estate. We now literally partner with people, and we don't half-ass it, and excuse the language, because that's kind of how we did it when we started. We kind of half-assed it. We had too many holes, not enough crewmen on the ship, but now we're just killing it, absolutely killing it with how we're putting it together. Because now we could honestly tell people that we literally do provide all the pillars that are needed for the local partner to close deals with. For instance, we do what I'm going to do here in a couple minutes. We coach them and we educate them. I can tell you almost across the board, when people ultimately quit this business, they rarely quit it because they're doing deals. They rarely do it because they're knocking out of the ballpark. They rarely do it when they're making a ton of money. They always do it in those initial stages where they don't know enough. Okay, that is like one of the key killers. So we are committed, and we do provide over-the-top coaching, mentoring, support for our partners. The second thing that's needed that we provide to our partners is back office support. Again, you hear me talk about it all the time. Real estate is not a business that anybody gets into and they're thinking like, wow, I'm glad I'm here. Let me hit some paperwork, or give me some files to process, right? Or like, man, let's do some title searches and clean some titles, or let's take it through a probate, okay? Or nobody gets in it for that. That is like the most unsexy part of real estate. But I will tell you, because I've done thousands of deals, that is a do or die side of this business, okay? And I could tell you almost never in the initial stages do initial investors have the back office set up. And I could tell you, even some investors that do it to some kind of scale, they can never match the kind of back office support that we have. So that's the second thing we provide back office support for our partners. The next thing, we all know what it's all about, right? It's about finding deals. It's finding deals. And that is another huge category that you can go down a very deep black hole and never resurface, right? Chasing after the wrong sources, dealing with the wrong deals, not understanding who to get deals from or not get deals from. I mean, it could be a disaster in the making, right? So not only do we help our partners with lead gen, but we actually provide them a tool called Deal Engine. And that tool literally helps them identify motivated sellers. And remember, it's not about sellers in real estate, it's about motivated sellers. So we go to the level that we actually provide our partners tools that help them generate motivated sellers right in their marketplace. The next thing is it's money, right? You got to know, you got to have money in this business, whether it's earnest money, down payment money, money to buy the properties, money to carry the properties, money to fix the properties. Well, that's the other thing we do here at Partner Driven, or sometimes even just for double closing, you need money, right? Because the way things used to be structured, where you could do things just with one seamless closing with no money needed, at least for that initial funding to be able to sell it off right away is needed. We provide all of that money. So all that money is on us. The next thing I do is very critical. Another thing that almost no one thinks about, but very, very important. I assumed all the liability, okay? Because as much as I'm sitting here and telling you that we are now rocking on all cylinders, and we are, it's like, it's like a race car driver. The best drivers in the world still crash, okay? If you don't believe me, go watch any NASCAR or Formula One race, okay? Mistakes happen at any level, and they happen at this level too. And so the other thing is I take away all the liability. Anything ever goes wrong, it's on me. Okay. And the final stage that we provide for our partners is in the dispositional or sale of the property, whether we're doing a quick turn or maybe a fix and flip. We basically sell them, we split the profits down the middle, and that's the partner driven model. And so if you're a partner with us tonight, we're glad you're here. This is another way for you to reconnect with us, with myself, kind of for me to do some more teaching, as I'm going to do here in a couple of minutes. And so if you're a partner, that's super duper. That is really, really cool. By the way, even our partners have the ability to level up now. Okay. Our partners now have the ability to level up to go to what we call the Partner Driven Max. And Partner Driven Max, we take Partner Driven, which is already hot on fire, and we level it up to the next level, right? And how we do that is we replicate literally in that model what I did in my model. Okay. Not when I got started, but when I really, really got to extremely high levels. I brought a person on board. Her name's Julie Muse. If you're at all know anything about Partner Driven, you know Julie very well. And over a period of time, Julie grew through the organization and ultimately started running the whole organization. She became my CEO. She did my hiring, my firing. She built out all the infrastructure. So the Partner Driven Max is a level up of Partner Driven. It's where Julie literally becomes your CEO. She becomes, she hires the people for you. She builds out the infrastructure out. I mean, that's like serious level. And so some people, when they start with us, you're like, I need to level up immediately. Some people start with us at Partner Driven and then like, hey, I'm leveling up now. And so, I'm going to give you an opportunity for anyone who's interested in going to those next levels. When I'm done here in a couple minutes, I'm going to give you a phone number you could call. We have some very special team members on standby tonight. We'll kind of show you that level and what that looks like and all that. And talk about leveling up. We ourselves here leveled up at Partner Driven, because remember, one of the key things is why people love us is that you're utilizing our money, our funds on short-term closes, long-term closes, and all that. But now we actually found a third party that'll actually give you the money to start with Partner Driven. And that is us internally leveling up, always making what we do possible to as many people as possible. So if you qualify some very basic requirements, we actually have a third party source that'll give you the money to get started with either Partner Driven or Partner Driven Live. And so that'll be really cool. And again, when I'm done here talking in a couple minutes, I'm going to give you an opportunity. If you're like, okay, let's go to the next level, I want to do that. But the big picture, what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is what I have been doing for the last 14 days. For the last 14 days, I have spent, 2 or 3 of them right back here. I'm in my Atlanta place tonight. But what I have been doing is I have been doing some very basic, but one of the most powerful things that I, as an investor, could do, that you as an investor can do. And I've been literally trotting across the United States, and I've been networking. I've been meeting people, very heavyweights. I was just with Robert Allen. If anybody knows real estate, I was with Robert Allen. I was with Russ Whitney, Ralph, I forgot his name, also Ron LeGrand. I mean, these are giants. I was just networking with them. And probably another, over these 14 days, I've easily met probably about 100 industry experts as it relates to this real estate business. And I can tell you my business today, 14 days. I mean, we're taking 14 days out of a 22 plus year career. My business today is different than it would look 22 years ago. Okay. It's better today, 14 days later. It is stronger today. It is more profitable today. Why? Because there's things that people know around you that you don't know. There's things that, and there's some things that you actually even do know that people around you know better, but more importantly, know how to get them quicker. You know, like if you look at my whole real estate career, very few things I don't think I can pinpoint to anything that I could say, see this whole thing, I figured that thing out myself. I mean, this is over a 2-decade career and I can't lay claim to too many things. That's pretty crazy, right? Like, how can you exist for 22 years as a sole business owner, right? And not like figure something out. We figured it out, a lot of things actually, but not as a result of because I was so smart or anyone around here was such a genius. You know, I learned a long time ago, it's all about the correct alignment. You know, I learned a long time ago that it's not what I know, but who I know. And I could tell you almost no. Now think about, now I'm going to tell you something else now. If you guys were on screen today and I asked you to raise your hand, if anyone ever heard of Robert Allen, the original No Money Down dude, or Russ Whitney, build $1 billion real estate empire, or Rolf de Roos, another legend in this business, or Ron LeGrand. Like, if any guys have really figured this stuff out, it's those guys. Like, they figure stuff out. You can't, like, when you hear like behind the closed doors, the stuff I heard of what they're doing and what they've done, you're like, okay, legend here, here's your stamp. They're still networking. Like, I'm flying around the country meeting people like that. Why? Because it's critical. And I could tell you the most amazing thing is this. And by the way, I'm going to tell you something. This is how life works. Life works in reverse, like, proportions. And this is why many times the broke stay broke and the successful get even more successful. Here's what I mean by that. The person that needs this the most, like the person that needs the networking the most, is the person least doing it. Like, across the board, I could tell you that to be a fact. It's the person that hasn't closed his first deal. It's the person that hasn't gotten to financially where they want to be. It's the person that, could benefit from it the most. That is the person that does it the least. But it's someone who's already very well equipped, very well networked also, by the way, very financially set, very like model driven. They're the ones doing it the most. And that's, by the way, I could tell you that's how it works with almost every single habit of successful person, as opposed of the broke person. The broke person tends to hang on just long enough with their bad habits, right? Let me just see what else I could squeeze out of like my bad habits and not switch to the good ones, okay? But networking has gotten me every technique, every strategy. Like, what I mean by that is, like, every technique that I have done in real estate, every strategy I've done in real estate, every type of deal I've done in real estate. Like, I've done houses, I've done apartments, I've done land, I've done subdividing, some commercial. I can't sit here and ever tell you that, what? I went on YouTube. I watched the YouTube video of how to subdivide a land and then flip out, stuff to builders. No, I mean, and I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying some of these things you can't do yourself. I'm just telling you from experience. Every one of those techniques, every one of those strategies, every one of those situations was firmly because I was always committed to the act of networking. I think the act of networking is literally the quickest way to go from A to Z. Now, here's what does happen a lot of times in this business. I'll tell you, and see if this makes sense to you. A lot of times we're driven to do our networking by the strategy we do, right? So see if this makes sense to you. Let's say you're out there and you're trying to wholesale properties, right? What kind of networking you're doing? You're doing the, oh, I need a buyer's list. I need a buyer's list, right? That's the networking, because you're like, well, if I do this technique and strategy, I got a buyer's list. So I better go out there, beat the pavement, and I'm going to put together a buyer's list, right? So a lot of times the networking that people do is very limited, because they're literally think, okay, I got one situation here, I got one technique, I got one strategy, and so I'm going to be very linear focused. Whereas I knew from the very beginning, that's not what networking is all about. Yes, buyers will come out of the network you build. Sometimes it's called cash buyers list, right? I'm sure all of you guys have heard about them. And by the way, out of those lists, everything that I'm sharing with you tonight, the techniques, the strategies, the situations that I've been able to, the holes that I've been pulled out of because my stupid butt put myself in those holes, all that came as a result of my networking. Interestingly enough, it actually came out of what most of us here know as the buyer's list, like the cash buyer's list. But many years ago, someone very successful told me, it's like, Pete, do not look at that as a cash buyer's list. Look at that as your everything list. And so here's how, like, for instance, let me give you some ideas how this worked for me in the very beginning. I would, let's say, I would put a deal together, right? And I was broke, right? And so it was a decent deal, had no money, had no credibility, couldn't even get any hard money, people to believe in what I was doing. Guess where I got my money from? I would go right to this list, my cash buyers list, as we all know it, and I'd send an email. And I'd say something like this. I'd say, hi, I got a property on this neighborhood, 3 beds, 2 baths, I picked it up for $50K, needs another 20 to fix. And, we could sell it all day long for, let's say, 120. Guess what would happen? In the next hour, I get people responding back, and they would say something like, hey, I'm in, or hey, I need more information, but I can handle it if it's the right kind of, those are the right numbers. And so interestingly enough, the money that I started raising at one other thing, I'm sidetracking, this is important. Last 14 days across the United States networking. I'm here today, which is Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we're meeting some people at my lake house, which is just an hour and a half down the road from here. And on Sunday, back in a plane, flying to Phoenix to do another 3 days of networking next week. That's how important what I'm telling you is at my level. And I'm not saying like I'm anything beyond any one of you guys, but I'm just telling you, the more successful I get, the more I fall back on the basics. So it's back to my story. Or let's say I wanted to learn a technique or strategy. I would just send like an email to my list, and I would just kind of just get a little interactive with it. Hey, I'm looking to do this kind of a transaction. If you got any experience, let me know and I'll cut you in, just if you would be willing to kind of hold my hand all the way through the process. Or let's say there was an area that I was like totally confused about, right? Like a geographical area. Like I couldn't figure it out anything. And there's been times where like geography was the stomping point for me. Like I can't figure this city out. Guess what I would do? I would send an email, right, to my cash buyers list, but it's not my cash buyers list. It's the networking everything list, right? And I'd say, hey, looking to do a deal in Macon, and I don't understand the market, but I tell you what, I think I may be sitting on something here. If you're willing to walk me through the Macon market, I'll cut you in a little bit on the deal. And I could tell you everything, the money raises I've done, small ones, big ones, techniques that I've veered into, that some of them took years, right? Because they were such great techniques. Some of them were very short-term techniques. All of that came from my ability and understanding the ability of network, but then take it to the next level. Not just my ability to network, but my ability to build relationships out of those networks, right? Sometimes people literally think, okay, well, I guess I just got to put together a bunch of names and a bunch of numbers or a bunch of emails, and then I guess I'll just start emailing them. And I'm just telling you, that's not how this works, okay? And especially in today's marketplace, right? Think about when was the last time you answered a totally random email of somebody who got your information from God knows who, and you much less even opened it. And if you did open, respond to it. Or number three, that email was like trying to solicit you about something. Didn't have to be real estate related. It ain't happening in today's marketplace, right? Because we're too inundated with stuff. So the key to networking, yes, it is to develop the databases. It is to develop the list. But the key component of it is you have to take it to the next level. You have to build a relationship with that list, right? It's all about relationship building. Like the trip I was just off of, right? The trip I just came off of, I knew almost all the guys, the 100 guys or so that, I visited in the last 14 days through various masterminds and meetings. Sure, there were some new people there, but I tended to know almost all of them. So what does that give me the ability to do? It gives me the ability to have more impact on them and them on me, right? So I'll tell you this crazy thing. It sounds crazy, but I swear I did it. But this is the power of a network. So 3 or 4 days ago, I was in a small mastermind, right? And they were doing a charity raise, and the charity raise was for the blind and the slave trades they have with like these third world countries with kids, right? So it was like a boom up. They were doing a charity raise, but let me just tell you the power of a network. They're doing a charity raise. And, like with anything else, that you try to kind of put value on it. Hey, I'll give somebody $500, but I'll give you $500, maybe even more if you give me some value. So as they did this charity raise, 3 things happen. One, the most prolific affiliate marketing guy. And if you don't know what affiliate marketing is when you kind of do marketing, but with other people, they kind of endorse your products. And it's a very viable thing. And it's something that we do. And so one of the most prolific, probably the most prolific affiliate dude stands up and says, tell you what, you give me a service or a product and I'll do a whole product launch for you. Number 2, one of the most prolific social marketing guys stands up. He says, I tell you what, to bid this thing up, I'll work with your social marketing team for a year. And I've known of this guy. The first guy's first name is Tim. I've known Tim for 20 years. Second guy's name is Chris, the social media guy. I've known of Chris for a while because I've made a big move to social media. Now watch this. This is how important the power of a network is. And then Robert Allen stands up. And if you know anything about real estate, everybody knows Robert Allen. He's the granddaddy of Robert. He's the most books sold and all this. And Robert Allen stands up. He says, I'll tell you what, I'll write a foreword to your book and I'll help you write the book. Okay. So Robert Allen's going to do the foreword to the book and help you write it. Tim is going to do a product launch, and Chris is going to work with the social media team for a year. So they build up value. And they looked at someone in the crowd. They said, what do you think we should start the bidding off? Somebody says 15,000 right away. 15,000, hand goes up. Somebody goes 16,000, the power of a network. Somebody goes 17,000, and I was up front. So I tapped the guys that are running the auction. I said $50,000, 50. Within 5 seconds, somebody says 55. I say 60, 65, 70. 75, 80. This is happening like in real time. We're going up by 5, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105. We went up to 137,000. And I put a stop to the bid, not to the bidding, but to the auction. I said, watch this. Here's what we're going to do here. We want everybody to win. I'm at 137. Sean's at 137. This is 137,000, by the way. It's not 1,300. I said, I'm 137,000. Sean's 137,000. Let's do a win-win-win. And here's the win was. I said, we're going to stop the bidding. And all 3 of you guys are going to work with Sean for a year. And all 3 of you guys are going to work with me for a year. And Sean's going to pay 137.5, and I'm going to pay 137.5. I win, Sean wins, but most important, the charities, instead of only getting 137.5, they now got 260,000. The power of a network. Because I networked with all these guys. I knew the value. 137 is a no-brainer for me. I wrote the check right there. It's like this is like buying something worth 1,000 and paying $10 for it. But that's the power of a network. See, if I did not know who those 3 players were, I might have been the guy that was only willing to pay $15,000 and miss the incredible things that are going to take place in our world with all these 3 icons and giants. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's who you play with. That's all it is. It's what sandbox are you in? Are you in the sandbox where the people around you are knocking out of the ballpark, making, $30, $50, $100 an hour? Or are you in the sandbox with the guys that are epic and that are legends? Now, you got to be smart about this, right? A lot, some of you might not be able to show up in a room like that and be known by everyone. That's okay. But there's always the next level, right? There's always the next level where level up, step up, go to the guy. If it's not the next level of you doing 0 deals and the guy doing 1,000 deals, that's not next level. Next level is you're doing 0 deals. And if you really want to get close to somebody, why don't you find somebody that's done at least like maybe 2 to 20 deals? That's just leveling up, right? And by the way, all this to say, I think every one of you who's part of the Partner Driven family, you have this incredible opportunity. I'm here. I've done thousands of these. Julie, the infrastructure team, this is like your ultimate ability to network. This is all your ultimate ability to level up. So here's what I have to say. If what I said today, you're like, I'm out. I don't understand what the heck this guy's yapping about. Then you're probably not yet ready to listen and hear the message. But if what I said today made sense, then I challenge you to begin doing it immediately. And if you already are doing it, I'm challenging you to do it to the next level. So like if you're part of the Partner Driven team, right? One of the ways you need to be leveling up is through, let's say, our Facebook community. I'm always challenging you there. Let's go to the next level. Let's be accountable. By the way, that's all a very huge part of networking is the accountability factor that comes with it. Another way to level up, guess what? June 26th, June 27th, we got a live event. I'm going to hang with those that are coming for 2.5 days, 2 days, 26th and 27th. Julie will hang. Every single support staff team will be there. All the way from Kristen, who's helping me put the show on tonight, to the people behind her, to Laura, to Mary, who runs the whole back office, to Juhi, to Rafa, who runs our whole back-end marketing side. That's a pretty cool place to level up, right? By the way, if somebody could put in chat the link to the but if you just go to the partnerdrivenlive.com, just if that link's not available, all you have to do is go to partnerdrivenlive.com, and for $97, you got the ability to network with us. You don't have to you don't have to pay $137,000 is what I'm saying. Okay. But for $97, you could do that. But whether you do that or you don't do that, whether you join the Partner Driven world of us partnering with you doing deals or you don't, I will tell you this whole concept of leveling up by connecting and networking with people who've gone a little bit ahead of you, or maybe even a lot ahead of you, and they can get interested on you. That happens too. You know how to get interest of somebody who's not just the next level up, but like 5 levels up. You know how you get their interest? Ask them how you could help them. Just ask them. Hey, what can I in the beginning, when I really didn't have anything to offer to the big next level up guy, I would just say, hey, Bob, or hey, Barton. Barton became a huge mentor of mine. I had nothing I could offer Barton except myself. So I'd say, Barton, what do you need done? You got all these projects. What do you need? Well, I need this stuff handled on this side. And I go do everything that Barton needed. But in turn, Barton allowed me to level up a little bit, taught me stuff, I started running around with him. So that's how you level up to the next couple levels. All right, guys, I think you get it. Level up, network, critical. So if you're a partner here tonight and you're ready to level up and go to that next level, the partner-driven max, where Julie steps it up and becomes literally becomes your CEO, starts hiring people for you, training them, all that kind of incredible stuff. Or you're not at that. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just happy where you're at. No problem there. But maybe you're either looking to get started with partner-driven. You've been talking to a team member. You understand what it's all about. Maybe you just needed to hear the right message. Or maybe you're ready to go straight to partner-driven max. For those people, we have a couple team members on standby tonight. If somebody could put their phone numbers in the chat. I know it was texted to me. Can't find it. Oh, it's 770-746-8585. That's 770-746-8585. And that's if you're ready to okay, I got enough. I know enough. I'm ready to partner. I'm ready to do deals. I've been talking to some people here already. Let's go. It's time to level up. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, guys. This was said very pointedly to me this week. There will come a time, and they weren't talking about networking, but they were talking about something else. They said there will come a time where you won't have enough time to level up, right? There will come a time in all of our lives where we won't be able to level up anymore, okay? So while you still can, I challenge you to do it. I challenge you to level up. I challenge you to do some networking. I challenge you to start learning and gaining experience of others and get to those next levels. So guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Again, my name is Peter Vekselman. It's the partner-driven model. So on behalf of myself and all the team here that makes all this possible, I just kind of show up. I want to thank you. I hope you learned some stuff tonight. I hope that you will understand how to get quickest way to the next level is through other people's times and efforts. All right, guys, be back here, same time, same place next week.